set.
The Mount Washington Auto Road welcomes you to the heart of the White Mountains and your adventure on the northeast's highest peak. You are about to embark on a journey that will do more than just take you to the highest summit in the Northeast. You are going to the birthplace of legends, following up a path that leads through time and winds its way through woods, wind, and weather. At the state park on top, you'll see the home of the Mount Washington Observatory and the historic Summit Stage Office, which is where the world's highest winds were recorded in 1934. More about that later. This audio tour will be your information and entertainment guide as you travel on the oldest man-made attraction in the United States. Your driving time to the top will be approximately 25 minutes, and this tour will help you understand a lot more about the remarkable views and amazing things that have happened here since the road opened to the public in 1861. Now, before we get into all the storytelling on how this remarkable road came to be and some of the funny things folks have done on it, we have some pretty important information to pass along. Among other wonders, you will be entering the fragile alpine zone, home to many rare and unique forms of plants and flowers. There will be many opportunities to stop your car and walk around, so please take care to leave these special environments as you found them. It is only because others have been thoughtful in past generations that these small endangered treasures are still here for us to enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
So if you watch your step, future generations might have the same opportunity. It is only through our continued stewardship that we can protect and preserve the resources that we all treasure. Now just imagine that this road opened to the public in 1861, and the scenes which are about to unfold before you have remained unchanged since then. Also unchanged is the need for safe driving. Now the road's remarkable safety record of the past century and a half is because drivers, whether in horse-drawn vehicles of the old days or the motor vehicles of this century, respect the basic rules of safety, which apply to the trip up and down Mount Washington. As you ascend the mountain and then descend after your visit to the summit, these driving tips will help maximize safety and minimize inconvenience. Please keep the following in mind as your journey continues.
Okay.
The auto road has two-way
1 mile
coming and going at all times. Keep to your side of the road. Don't worry, it's wide enough for 2 cars to pass anywhere on the road. We urge you to drive up in low gear. This means less work for your engine and allows it to run cool. You should stay in low gear for your entire trip up and down the road. If ever there was a road that was designed for low gear, this is it.
The ears are already starting to go.
Mark Twain once said, if you
I was like, what happened?
England, just wait a minute. He must have been thinking of Mount Washington because things can change quickly and dramatically around here.
Okay.
Depending on conditions, you should maintain a speed of approximately 15 to 20 miles an hour. Now, your actual speed will depend on traffic and prevailing weather conditions. If it seems like you're holding up cars behind you, please be considerate of others and allow them to pass. Avoid using your air conditioner, as this may cause the engine to overwork. There will be plenty of cool air to refresh you as you continue to gain elevation. If the vehicle does begin to run hot, turn on the heater. It may sound strange, but it will actually help cool the engine. Should you find yourself driving in a fog at any time while on the mountain, turn on your headlights for the sake of all oncoming traffic. And please remember, it's a New Hampshire state law that all persons under 18 years of age must wear a seatbelt. If either on the way up or down, for any reason you need assistance, flag down one of the white and green vans or road crew pickup trucks.
What?
Our drivers will be happy to help you in any way. Also, remember that cars coming down should yield the right of way to cars going up.
Okay.
Now, let's get to the storytelling about the place you've come to.
Okay. I feel like this guy's in the car with us. Oh, there he is. There's the one guy. Oh my God, this guy's so good.
The creation of our road to the sky all began back in 1853 when the New Hampshire legislature granted a charter to General David Maycomber to build the 8-mile road to the summit. It was a challenging task he set for himself, to say the least, but he had a vision. The White Mountains were beginning to gain a reputation as a destination resort with grand hotels hotels catering to wealthy travelers for the summer season. His path to the top of New England would surely be the high point of any visit to the North Country. Your presence here today confirms just how right he was. Anyway, one of the first of these grand hotels was the Glen House, which was located at the base area from which you began your climb. This hotel and 3 others burned to the ground over the years, around the turn of the century and after, though the base area is still referred to as the Glen, as it always has been.
Okay.
Seasons may change, but they always return, and the day will again surely come when travelers will find lodging in this most historic and remarkable of places. As you drive on through the hardwood forest, try to imagine what the early road builders faced. Dense trees and underbrush, sloping ridges, and immense boulders and ledges were at every turn.
Oh, cool.
Not a particularly inviting place to excavate a road, but this is Mount Washington, and no adversity would be too great if it resulted in the conquest of this famed peak. One young woman who visited the Glen House in 1854 explored the work in progress and wrote an article for Harper's Weekly magazine. In it, she recounted her memories of the road as a work in progress.
We have all been walking in the lowering twilight on the road which is making its way up Mount Washington. Though nothing is impossible to modern science, it would seem impossible to vanquish the obstacles to the enterprise, the inevitable steepness of the ascent, the rocky precipices. We passed on through the debris of blasted rocks, stumps of uprooted trees, and heaps of stones, till we got far enough into the mountain to feel its stern solitude. Mary Langdon.
And when that was written in 1854, they were still 7 years from completion. Unfortunately, for General Maycomber, his financial backing ran out halfway up the mountain.
Oh,
so
no!
It ended up taking 2 companies. Years of backbreaking labor,
Oh wow, we're already at 3,000 feet. Can you feel the temperature difference on your legs?
During a 2-year delay after the first company had failed, it was questionable as to whether or not the project would ever be completed.
There's not too much to look at
the lure
here.
of Mount Washington was too great to keep this road from reaching the top. It was particularly difficult to make any progress with natural obstacles such as the weather combined with the primitive technology of the era to slow things down. Since dynamite had not been invented yet, all the blasting was done with black powder, a dangerous and at times unstable explosive. In order to split the massive rock ledges which blocked the planned way, individual holes were hand drilled into solid rock and then filled with black powder, blown up and split apart one at a time. All the logging was done with axes, saws, and elbow grease. Teams of oxen and workhorses drew carts filled with gravel. All in all, it was a dirty, dangerous job, largely accomplished by immigrant labor working in a place not yet fit for man nor beast. But finally, on August 8, 1861, it was done, and done right. Many decades later, in a study completed with aerial surveys and the latest technology, the Army Corps of Engineers could find no improvement to the route as laid out in the middle of the last century. Today, this toll road is still privately owned and operated by the Mount Washington Summit Road Company,
there's a sign there.
With very little change of ownership, has remained a family business.
Solar.
As you continue upward, glimpses of mountain vistas begin to reveal themselves, but it wasn't always this way. In fact, around the turn of the century, logging barons had virtually clear-cut much of what is now the White Mountain National Forest. The decimation of these native forests created not only fire and erosion dangers, but created such an unsightly mess that the cause of conservation was taken up by the average citizen and politicians alike. As a result, the Weeks Act of 1911 established White Mountain National Forest, among many others. These mountains remain protected today as a pristine reminder of the natural beauty of the wilderness. It is ironic, though, that it took the near destruction of everything that you see around you to motivate the effort to save it. Thankfully, what you see today is remarkably similar to what the first adventure seekers found in 1861. It was called the carriage road in those days, and there were as many as 25 mountain wagons and 120 horses in service each day of the season. These mountain wagons were specially designed and constructed for the carriage road by the Abbott Downing Company in Concord, New Hampshire. This company manufactured the famous Concord stagecoaches, which, aside from being shipped worldwide for use in commerce and transportation, were used in practically every Western movie ever made. The carriage road mountain wagons were pulled by 6 horses and seated as many as 12 passengers. A typical trip took 4 hours to get up, and though no one was in a rush in those days, passengers were at times asked to assist with one task. On windy days, those making the journey were asked to get out and collect rocks to add weight to the wagon so that it wouldn't tip over in the strong winds above treeline. Now, the ride down was another adventure in itself, taking a good 2 hours. The wheels on every trip down wore through a set of leather brakes as the horse, driver, and wagon fought gravity the whole way. The Mount Washington Auto Road welcomes you to the heart of the White Mountains and your adventure on the Northeast's highest peak.
That
You
one was probably
are
better to stop
about to
at.
embark on a journey that
Too
will
late.
do more than just take you to the highest summit. Oldest man-made attraction in the universe, which are about to unfold before you have remained vans or road crew pickup trucks. Our drivers will be happy to help you in any way. Also, remember that cars coming down should yield the right of way to cars going up. Now, let's get to the storytelling about the place you've come to.
13 degrees.
As you drive on through the hardwood forest, try to imagine what the early road builders faced. Ran out halfway up the mountain, so it ended up taking 2 companies. Years of back-breaking labor, blasting, logging, clearing, and grading to complete the task. During a 2-year delay after the first company had failed, it was questionable as to whether or not the project would ever be completed. But the lure of Mount Washington was too great to keep this road from reaching the top. It was particularly difficult to make any progress with natural obstacles such as the weather combined with the primitive technology of the era to slow things down. Since dynamite had not been invented, the creation of our road to the sky all began back in 1853 when the New Hampshire
I don't want to hear this stupid story again.
in this
Oh. So basically,
Now stop here.
path that
Take a
leads.
picture?
no, it's fine.
Okay.
There's no need. It's just trails. I mean, that is pretty, but
in the United States. Your driving time to the top will be approximately England. Just wait a minute. He must have been thinking of Mount Washington because things can change quickly and dramatically around here. Depending on conditions, you should maintain a speed of approximately 50.
I think we went through all of it.
they must have.
Now that you've had the opportunity to experience the world above treeline firsthand, prepare yourself for a whole...
Not there yet.
We're not there yet. Oh my god, we hit our gravel.
Huh.
Hey, buddy. No, this is the guy was like fucking thinking of it. Yeah, truck, you fucking wait there. Give us the right of way.
Thank you.
You shouldn't thank him. He has to be. Oh, these are really pretty purple flowers. I think this was like one of our cheapest things to do, and it's like the best.
The only reason I came here. Everything else is like a nice little side.
Yeah, a little, like a nice little extra.
Yeah.
Imagine coming up this on fucking horse and buggy.
Oh my god.
That would be interesting. I think this part is steeper than anything.
Oh, yeah. This reminds me of those highways in Colombia.
What? You've been to Colombia?
No, I saw videos of people
Oh, I
driving
see.
in Colombia, and they're more narrow than this.
And there's like 2-lane traffic.
Yeah, there's buses.
That's fine. There's buses.
Like, you see buses passing each other on roads narrower than this, and they have to drive on the edge a little bit.
Terrible.
Yeah. This is pretty safe. I like this.
We're hitting a corner.
Going to the sky.
Literally.
We're gonna have lots of pull-off zones later, so we can always just like pull off and take pictures on the way back. And top of the brakes cool down a bit.
There's no point. I mean, I missed my picture. When we come back, we pull off there.
Yeah.
So bright. This is where you kind of get that whole
Vertigo feeling?
yeah.
Huh.
They're so. It's a race.
People race off this road. Just keep that in mind.
I know they do.
That is
Amazing.
amazing and terrifying.
You gotta be good at what you do. You can't be an amateur.
Yeah. Maybe I just turn off that fear part.
Somebody left in a nutshell there. I'm pretty sure that mountain directly across where the clouds are on top, I think that's White Mountain.
Oh. Because of the white clouds.
No, because I think it's because of, like, you can see a lot of the rocks. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. I agree with you. This car is doing pretty well in first gear.
I mean, I personally don't know.
The gears.
That's terrifying. Like, you would catch a lot of speed if you tumbled off. That change into Prince again. Wait for that pull off. Oh my god. The steepness continues. It just gets like steeper and steeper. Actually, that's kind of warm. Oh, you have the heat on, that's why. I'm like, why am I hot?
We're
That
getting
sun! I'm like,
closer to
we're
the
getting
sun."
closer to the sun!
It's only a few kilometers above us.
Literally, I didn't feel the warmth until you turned and like the sun was on the front of the car. Oh my god. We're not even there yet.
Nope. Should I pull off here and take a picture?
No, it's okay.
Did you get a picture of these cars here?
I did.
That is badass. Fog lights on.
Fragile alpine zone. Don't take anything.
Take all the rocks.
Oh my god, look at how cool this is coming into this rock face. That's why I needed my glasses. This looks like the most recently maintained.
I think this section was recently paved.
It would have to be.
A few years ago it wasn't, it was gravel, I think.
I wouldn't be okay with it going up gravel like up here.
Yeah. That's why people were more inclined to take that,
Oh, the train.
not the train, but the tour.
Oh, I see. The fuck? Where's the word pirates?
Take a picture of the fog.
7 Mile. Oh, yeah, okay. Our fog lights are on, right?
Yep.
Dope. Okay, windows gotta go back up again. This is so cool. Changing weather conditions. 6,000 feet.
Hmm.
Ah, la, 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 la.
8 degrees.
I think we're pretty close to the summit.
What was that?
My water bottle pressurizing is what that was. Oh, Jesus. I see a building. Okay. Service road, do not drive. Okay. Oh, I see the observation tower. This is so cool, though. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Parking through?
Yep, looks like it. It's just right beside this guy, yeah.
Okay. 6 degrees.